So Where Winds Meet is almost here, and players everywhere are gearing up for one of the most ambitious open world action RPG launches of the year. From its stunning martial arts combat and cinematic storytelling to its dynamic world filled with political intrigue, exploration, and freedom of choice, this game is shaping up to be something truly special. What's up guys, my name is Fervor, welcome back to the channel, and today we're breaking down everything you need to know before launch, the story, gameplay progression, all the key systems that define the experience, and everything in between. Just keep in mind, if you want to stay up to date on all things Where Winds Meet, make sure to drop a like as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out when new information arrives. And with that said, let's dive right on in. First things first, let's talk about the story, and the story is set during the chaotic times in the late 10 Kingdoms history. You've got political instability, power struggles, and a world steeped in folklore and magic where the boundaries between reality and myth is blurred in a subtle but meaningful way. You step into the shoes of a wandering swordsman or swordswoman, and from the onset, the game makes it clear that every choice you make matters, whether you're helping a struggling village, negotiating between two factions, or deciding the fate of an NPC caught in crossfire. Your decisions carry weight, and the game rewards players who think carefully about consequence. The narrative is delivered through cinematic cutscenes and fully acted characters. When I last played, it was fully in Chinese, but even if you don't understand the language, the emotion, the tone, and the delivery conveyed a sense of urgency and personal investment that pulls you in. Missions are fast-paced and unpredictable. You never quite know what's around the corner, which keeps tension high throughout your journey. Boss fights are another area where the story and gameplay intersect beautifully. These aren't just damage sponges, each boss is skill based and tactical, with attacks that force you to read patterns, adopt, and make split-second decisions. Cinematic flourishes make each encounter feel dramatic and significant, reminiscent of games like Wulong, where timing, patience, and reading your opponents are just as important as raw power. Flexibility is emphasized across the entire narrative. Moral choices, code of honor, and freedom of approach aren't just thematic, they actually shape how you experience the game. You can choose a direct confrontational path or take a more nuanced approach, influencing both story and gameplay in ways that ripple throughout your adventure. When it comes to combat, the system here is deep, precise, and surprisingly approachable once you understand the fundamentals. Core mechanics include light, heavy, and charged attacks with dodges, parries, and stamina management forming the backbone of every engagement. One of the key defensive elements is reading enemy attack color. Red means you need to parry, gold signaling a dodge, and mastering this simple but crucial system elevates combat from mindless button mashing to strategic engagement. Weapons play a central role in the system. There are several main types of weapons to master: straight sword, double sword, spear or glaive, heavy sword, fist or unarmed, fan, and umbrella. You of course can even switch between weapons mid-combat, which open the doors to complex skill chains and tactical depth. Then there's the layers of mystic arts. They aren't just flashy effects, they're fully integrated into traversal, combat buffs, crowd control, and combo potential. A well-timed mystic art can change the flow of a fight, letting you control space, punish aggressive enemies, or enhance your own damage in moments of high tension. Combat progression is satisfying because you unlock schools of martial arts, stances, and passive bonuses, and gear-based customization as you go. This isn't just numbers on screens, these choices alter how you approach enemies and shape the flow of combat encounters. Tactical gameplay comes to the forefront as you change skills, swap weapons, and incorporate mystical arts while responding to color-coded attacks. There's a rhythm here, and once you feel it, combat starts to feel less like a task and more like a dance with an environment and your opponent. Exploration and world design are also equally impressive. The game gives you a vast playground of roughly 20 kilometers filled with diverse environments, including underground caverns, underwater passages, urban districts, and open wilderness. Traversal is highly mobile. You can wall run, glide, skim across water, scale cliffs, and generally move in ways that feel very fluid and intuitive. NPC behaviors actually add another layer of immersion. Thousands of individuals each have routines, reacting to your actions, and offer dynamic bounties or side events that make the world feel well lived in. Environmental systems further enhance realism with weather, injuries, temperature mechanics, and minor simulations affecting both gameplay and narrative interaction. Every area feels designed with purpose, and exploration is rewarded both narratively and mechanically. Now let's talk about multiplayer and co-op systems, because while this game does have a very heavy emphasis on single player, you can actually play a bit of co-op as well as multiplayer, and it gets pretty big, as big as 30v30, so it's actually very interesting. So early co-op allows you to basically tackle side missions, world bosses, mini games, and character progression together, which feels actually rewarding without overwhelming the single player experience. Once you reach level 10, online features actually start to unlock, offering a shared world with PvP modes like 1v1s, 2v2s, and a massive 30v30 battles. Joint strikes, dungeons, and raids bring the more MMO experience to life, and there's even housing and social systems where you can actually decorate homes, manage skills, and pursue life simulation careers like healer, bodyguards, musicians, and architects. There's a clear overlap between single player and multiplayer where there are challenges like sync progression, limited interaction for non-hosts, and rough matchmaking. So for those of you who are looking to maybe transition into more of a single player but hybrid MMO style playstyle, this game can kind of fit it for you. I wouldn't say it's a full-fledged MMO experience, but you definitely get a feeling of it, and of course as you play through the campaign in the single player, you can actually play with friends, and that's actually really nice to see. Progression and job systems add another layer of flexibility. Characters aren't locked into one path. The multi-class system allows you to experiment with jobs, skill selections, and passive upgrades. Career paths are diverse, ranging from traditional roles like healer and bodyguard to more unusual ones like musicians, firefighters, architects, or orators. These choices influence both single player and multiplayer experiences, from combat support to environmental changes, and they tie directly into minigames, quests, and world interactions. The reward loops are satisfying with dungeons, world bosses, treasure chests, gear upgrades, cosmetics, and optional microtransactions, providing a variety of incentives to keep engaged in the world. Now, while we're on the subject of monetization, let's talk about it because this game is a free-to-play game, and you're probably a little bit worried about the monetization. The monetization is primarily free to play with cosmetic purchases and battle passes. From what I can tell, there hasn't been any indication that you'll have pay for power in order to be more effective in this game, but there is supposed to be some form of gacha mechanic where you're supposed to be able to buy, like, find cosmetics. So as far as I know, as of recording this video on the 6th, there is no pay to win to actually get power, but there is some pay to get cooler looking outfits. Now, I have actually played the game in the beta state, and the outfits did look really cool with or without paying for things, so I do not feel like you'll be at a negative if you don't pay for these things, so keep that in mind. But in terms of the monetization, it's going to be primarily supported by skins, which is actually really cool, and of course the battle pass. Visually, the game is striking. Landscapes are dynamic, lighting and weather effects are impressive, the overall presentation draws you in. The audio reinforces this immersion with traditional Chinese instruments blending seamlessly with orchestral scores, creating tension, drama, and emotional resonance at key moments. Character customization is extremely robust, offering detailed creation, outfit flexibility, mounts, and cosmetic options which let players express themselves while exploring or engaging in combat. One key thing I want to add is when I tested it in the beta, I had the opportunity to use presets or people like uploading their own characters, and they even had some like celebrity lookalike things. So character customization in this game is actually pretty damn deep, so I'm actually pretty impressed by that. I really wanted to add that note in because I know this is something a lot of people want, and I think they did a phenomenal job on that. In my personal experience, the game looks like it has a lot to offer. I really love the co-op elements of it. I'll be playing this with a couple of friends and being able to jump online and do 30v30s, do some optional PvP and some raid style content, giving you the ability to play single player if you enjoy that. If you're an MMO player, you have the option to actually be an MMO player, and it just seems to blend all the things that you really love all into one really cool action-packed Chinese focused game set in a really interesting universe, one that I really love. So that's pretty much it. That's the ultimate breakdown and preview of things you should know or want to know about Where Winds Meet. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the game. Are you going to be jumping in and giving the game a try? Of course, here on the channel, I will be absolutely covering this game pretty in depth, as well as be there day one on launch. So if you want to keep up to date on everything, make sure you are following the channel, leave a like as well as subscribe, so when the game actually comes out, you'll know exactly what to expect. My name is Fervor. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.